Hello everybody, I'm Mark Goldbridge. Welcome to That's Football for your latest football transfer news and the start of another big week. And it will be a big week, won't it? From the Daily Mail to Fabrizio Romano, they're all talking about the big Liverpool bid. Imagine that, for Isak. Yeah, Arsenal are going to bid for Isak. That would break the internet. No, it will be Liverpool bidding for Isak this week. How much is it going to be, do you think? And how significant a move will this be? I did my video on Liverpool winning the transfer window last night, and I'm not going to change that view. But also, some incredible news coming out from Spain about Real Madrid's pursuit of Rodri. Probably won't be successful, but they're offering up people like Rodrigo. Remember, Rodrigo actually has just sort of disappeared now. I mean, God, surely Liverpool aren't going to still go there. A week ago, that was still very much a deal, but I think that Ekitike and then Diaz goes and then Rodrigo comes in. But he is obviously now probably not going to go to Liverpool, you would have thought, with them getting Isak coming back onto the menu. So Rodrigo could be staying at Real Madrid. I don't see where his exit path is now, which is a shame. I would have liked to have seen him in the Premier League. Let me know your thoughts on that. But also other bits of news to get into. It's a big week for Newcastle too as well. But let's start off with Newcastle. Let's start off with Isak. Let's start off with Liverpool. That has an inevitability about it. It's a case of when, not if, and how much. Because Isak has already stated that this is the place that he wants to go. I mean, look, we always said this as well. Newcastle can say he's not for sale. Saudi can say they'll take him. But if he wants Liverpool, there's not a lot you can do when Liverpool are willing to offer big money. It's not like maybe a Real Madrid would come in and say, we'll give you 60 or we'll get him to run his contract down. Liverpool have always been willing to offer that British transfer record. It's just going to be interesting just how high that goes. Will it be 130? Will it be 140? Will it be 150? My only concern talking about this transfer would be, if I was Liverpool, is that he does pick up injuries. Like, if you look at like the last 2 years at Newcastle, he does pick up injuries. Is that a barrier to signing one of the best players in the league? Probably not. And I think that, you know, already Arne Slot has proved that he is only second to Pep, maybe, in Premier League managers. I mean, he has surpassed Arteta. Is that controversial? He has. He's won a Premier League in his first year. Some people will say, well, look at what Arteta's built. And I'm, you know, a big fan of what Arteta has built at Arsenal. I don't think he gets the plaudits he deserves. But what Arne Slot has done in a year, winning the Premier League, makes him better than Arteta, in my opinion. And, you know, obviously Pep's got the longevity and the titles. It would be ridiculous to say that Slot's better than Pep. But this sort of a signing is the sort of signing you make when you have the status of a manager that is sure of themselves and wants to be rewarded and respected. And whether you think Isak's a great fit for Liverpool, and I do, whether you'd have concerns about his injuries, and I might, I would be signing Isak. I wouldn't go, oh, you know, he picked up a groin injury for a month last season. It's something I'm still going to look at. And the depth of quality that Liverpool have when you have got an Ekitike, maybe that is what they're looking at there. So it's a question of how much this week and when it's going to happen, because Newcastle are going to be powerless in this. They can't keep him. They can't move him off anywhere else. And you know, it'll be interesting to see just what Liverpool put on the table, because they've spent a lot of money. Will they try and negotiate it down, or will they just go in and say, look, we always said we'd break the British transfer record. There's the money to go and do it. But look, I've got to say, yeah, just going back to, you know, Newcastle, obviously they want Sesko. They're looking at Wizard. Man United might move for Sesko, hopefully. So it's not been a great summer transfer window for Newcastle. They need to try and rescue something in the last few weeks. And it's not been a great transfer window for Rodrigo at Real Madrid, has it? I thought that he would end up in the Premier League, and it looks probably unlikely that he will now. Will he just end up staying at Real Madrid, or could he even be going on loan somewhere? I mean, look, if Liverpool go and get Rodrigo after Isak and get Guehi as well, we may as well forget it and go home. I mean, that would just be ridiculous. I don't think that's on the cards at the moment, but I guess we just will have to wait and see. But an interesting story this morning coming out from Spanish reports again is that they really like Rodri at Manchester City. Now, Rodri is quite clearly, I mean, do I dare say it again? I said it many times last season. Why were Man City so poor last season? Many people didn't want to believe it was because of Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner. I think it was. I think Man City will be a much better side this season and a potential threat for the Premier League simply because Rodri is fit. That is how good he is. Last season, there was no reason for it to fall apart the way it did. They went and spent money in January. They still had Haaland. They still had Foden. They still had Gundogan. They still had, all these players, and they were absolutely average. So, yes, Pep's one of the greatest managers in the world, but he doesn't seem to have a plan B when he doesn't have Rodri. So you can see why Real Madrid would be looking at him, especially in an Alonso system. I just wonder whether this could be the long goodbye for Rodri. I mean, I don't think Man City are just going to say no. Look at last season; they just can't let him go. So I don't see Rodri going this season. But just how much does Rodri, Spanish midfielder, love playing for Man City for the rest of his career, or does he have aspirations to go and play for Real Madrid? In which case, we know that Real Madrid sometimes are very much future purveyors of talent, and maybe that's something for the future. But that's something that Manchester City fans are going to have to maybe get used to, because when Real Madrid come for your players, it can be it can be the end game, so to speak. So, let me know your thoughts on that. Just having a quick scan of news coming in this morning. I mean, I'm still looking at the likes of Aston Villa and Tottenham and, maybe a few other clubs on what's going to happen, because they are Champions League clubs, Tottenham and Newcastle, and they do need to do a little bit more. I mean, look, maybe Tottenham are going to be more reliant on getting more out of a squad that was pretty decent last year, that massively underperformed under Ange. Can Thomas Frank get more out of it? Obviously, Kudus is there. Maybe they feel that they've got enough. Obviously, they've given permanent deals to Tell and Danzo. Aston Villa did a lot of business in January, but a lot of that business isn't there anymore. Disasi, Asensio, Rashford. They have got Malins. People forget about that. I think the push for a striker, even I forgot that. There's this talk of Ollie Watkins leaving and Villa being left short up front. They did buy Malin, and Emery didn't seem to use him that much, but I still think he's a decent striker. They have been linked with Calvert-Lewin, so maybe Watkins still could be on the move there. But I feel like Villa do need to do a little bit more, and maybe I think there are some deals that people are waiting for at the end of the window. I mean, Man City themselves have got Grealish, and they need to move him. Is he a loan deal at his price? I don't know. So, look, maybe it won't be such a big week for some clubs in this week, but I expect that we're certainly going to see advancement on Isak. I mean, look, from a Liverpool point of view, if you can wrap this deal up this week, and Liverpool are ridiculously quick at getting deals done. I mean, if this was Man United, we'd be talking about 2030 before we got this deal done. For Liverpool, we could be talking about 2030, meaning 8:30 tonight. So if they were to get the Isak deal done this week, he's probably ready for the start of the season. And from what I remember, Liverpool's start to the season isn't necessarily easy compared to, I think Arsenal and Liverpool have got quite difficult starts to the season. Liverpool start away to that's the Community Shield, don't worry about that. Liverpool start at home to Bournemouth, away to Newcastle, and then Arsenal at home. So it's not actually the best of starts for Liverpool. First 3 games, you want to get 9 points, but you've got to go to Newcastle and you've got to host Arsenal. So, they will want Isak in. Just looking at that, Newcastle away. We've landed on something there, haven't we? Newcastle away, second game. Maybe Liverpool will want, Newcastle will want to stretch that one out a little bit. So Liverpool's first 3 games: Bournemouth, Newcastle away, and then Arsenal. When do they get Isak in? Let's keep an eye on it. Thanks everyone for watching. Get your comments in below. Smash a like on the video. I'll speak to you on the next one.